Hurricane Sam has weakened considerably since the last video update I had on this, so we're going to go ahead and go to the NHC. As of 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the center of Hurricane Sam was located near latitude 35.4 north, longitude 58.2 degrees west. Sam is moving towards the northeast near 17 miles per hour. This general track with an increase in forward speed is expected by Monday for the next few days. On the forecast track, Sam will move well southeast to the Newfoundland and over the North Atlantic. So Newfoundland, you're not going to really get anything. Like, we can look at the cone right here. Newfoundland, you're fine. You're not going to get anything. That's a fact. Maximum sustained winds have decreased to 125 miles per hour, which makes it a high-end Cat 3 hurricane. So this hurricane has weakened considerably. Last video, it was 150. Then it went down to 145, then 140, then 130, now 125. So, yeah, this hurricane is weakening as it's moving over those cooler waters. It's moving over those not-so-favorable conditions. It's moving over areas of higher wind shear. So, yeah, it's been weakening at a very fast pace. I expected this to happen. Hurricane Sam's core looked really impressive yesterday. This is what it looks like now. The eye basically just essentially collapsed on itself. It's weakening. Its structure is starting to collapse. Yeah, it's about to make that transition from tropical to post-tropical. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on Sam when it comes to that. This thing is still a very powerful hurricane to look at. Still a Cat 3, as the NHC once had said. So I'll be continue to remain vigilant on it. Further slow weakening is anticipated during the next few days, and Sam could transition into a powerful post-tropical cyclone on Tuesday. Sam is a large tropical cyclone. Hurricane force winds extend outward 70 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend out 240 miles from the center. So this hurricane has grown considerably in size. So it's essentially trading wind speed for size, which that's normal for these things to do, but that's what's keeping the pressure constant. The pressure remains at 950 millibars. It was at 937 last time. The pressure went up a little bit. It was at 950 at the last advisory. It remains at 950. So, yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on it. Sam is just, like, I'm surprised it's still so powerful this far north. It's basically, if you look at it, it's that's Bermuda. That's south of Newfoundland right here, and generally hurricanes like this aren't very common. They typically tend to level off and weaken. Hurricane Larry at this point was a Cat 1 hurricane before it eventually made landfall in Newfoundland. So, yeah, this is honestly astonishing the way this is doing it. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the cone. It's expected to remain a major hurricane until a Sunday afternoon. It's supposed to, it's going to weaken to a Cat 2. Then it's going to remain at hurricane strength. Then until Monday, and then it's expected to be post-tropical by Tuesday. So I'll be keeping a close eye on it. There were a few models earlier that had this making landfall at Iceland as a strong post-tropical cyclone, but those models have deviated a little bit. Now they have it kind of all over the place a little bit. They have kind of just a little hook, a little bit of a, just like a pattern that generally it's going to stay there. I'm not too concerned about it because this is 5 days out, so I'm taking all these models with a grain of salt. I'm just saying that it's still a powerful hurricane this far north, and I have to give it respect for maintaining that intensity. I genuinely do. Because you don't see this every day. You don't see this every hurricane season. You don't see a hurricane develop very quickly in the eastern Atlantic, rapidly intensify, then its core collapses, and then it re-intensifies to the same strength and then some. And the hurricane looked a lot better with the structure. Like, the structure looked very impressive. And now it's starting to weaken, and it waited till this far north to start weakening at a considerable pace. So, yeah, I have to give props to that. But once again, we're going to go ahead and move on. This is the intensity a couple models have this going back up to Cat 4. Not going to happen. I can assure you that will not happen. I can assure that because it's just too far north. The water's temperatures are too cold, and basically the wind shear is just too great at that point. So I can assure all of you that this thing is not going back up to a Category 4 hurricane. It is not going to happen. But the rest of the models generally agree that it's going to weaken at a very slow pace. Well, not very slow, a very moderate pace. Expected to become a Cat 2 in the next 24 to 36 hours. Correct that, 36 to 48 hours. And then is expected to become a Cat 1 between 60 and 72 hours. Then a tropical storm, a tropical storm essentially, out 3 to 4 days. So, yeah, I'll be keeping a very close eye on this as it develops. So this is a very impressive system. Although the core does not look so impressive now. I'm going to actually go back to it, go back 90 frames, because this was earlier. Its core somewhat recovered a little bit, and then it's just started collapsing again. Actually, I'm going to see if we can go even further back. So yeah, the core kind of reorganized itself. It stays that for a while, then it starts to collapse again. So we'll go ahead and this is from yesterday. This was the core of the hurricane right here. There it is. It's kind of, the eye gets a little ragged, then it recovers itself, as you can see right here, and then it just, the core of it, the eye of it just collapses. So, yeah, there you have it. We're going to actually move this back to 30 frames right here. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Sam. It's remaining a major hurricane, which is impressive. And I will continue to keep an eye on Sam, so be sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates.